Do you ever feel the universe trying to warn you before something happens, Taurus? That subtle tightening in your chest, the quiet whisper in your intuition, the almost sacred pause where your soul seems to say, "Stay alert." Because right now, in this exact moment, an invisible energy is moving around you, shaping circumstances, shifting intentions, and revealing what was once hidden. And what I am about to share with you carries the weight of truth, the depth of spirit, and the urgency of a message that was meant to reach you today. You were guided here. You were not brought to this moment by accident. Listen closely. From the first breath of this message, your energy responded. Your inner knowing leaned forward. Something inside you recognized that this is not a story, this is not entertainment, this is a spiritual transmission. Taurus, when the universe needs to prepare one of its strongest warriors, it does not send a warning in silence. It sends signs, sensations, synchronicities, and a magnetic pull that becomes impossible to ignore. There is a reason your heart feels heavier lately, a reason you have been more observant, a reason you have felt old energies trying to return. That is because a spiritual trap is forming around you, crafted not only by human intention but by karmic echoes and unresolved emotional vibrations. But you are not here to fear the message. You are here to rise into it. Let us breathe together for a moment. Slowly, deeply, feel the air carrying you into a state of clarity. This moment is sacred. This moment is preparation. And this moment is the beginning of a powerful awakening within you. For Taurus, a soul ruled by the energy of Venus and the grounding of the earth element, your spiritual journey in this moment is not about running from danger. It is about learning to see beyond illusions. It is about walking with ancient wisdom. It is about understanding the patterns that try to repeat themselves in your life. Something is rising, a test, a challenge, a karmic figure, an emotional temptation, a spiritual misalignment. And because your spirit is growing, the shadows that once controlled you are trying to return. But this time, you will not fall for them. Before we dive deeper, I want you to feel this truth. Your presence in this moment is a sign that you were chosen to hear what others are not yet ready to understand. You are stepping into the kind of clarity that breaks patterns, dissolves illusions, and exposes intentions. And everything we explore today will lead you toward protection, empowerment, and spiritual elevation. Now, let us transition gently, as if stepping from darkness into dawn. Because what comes next is not just information. It is revelation. It is guidance. It is the kind of insight that shifts the path beneath your feet. Tonight, we begin unraveling the energy around you, the forces moving in silence, and the truth behind why you have been feeling the way you do. Stay with me. Stay open. Stay aware. What you are about to discover may change the way you see everything. Before we continue, leave a comment with the affirmation, "I honor my intuition." Taurus, let me speak directly to you as if we were sitting face to face, sharing a moment that only the universe itself could have arranged. Before we even explore what is unfolding in your path, we must open the door to the invisible weather that has been circling your life. You may have noticed a shift in the air around you lately, something subtle yet undeniable, almost like the world has been vibrating at a slightly different tempo. There is a spiritual pressure building, a gentle but persistent tug that has been drawing your attention inward. This energetic atmosphere is not random. It is a celestial alignment designed to prepare your soul for what is approaching. Taurus, you carry the vibration of the earth element, shaped by the grace of Venus, which gives you a unique mixture of loyalty, determination, emotional depth, and inner calm. Still, even the strongest spiritual foundations tremble when the universe begins to shift. Perhaps you have experienced small signs that something was changing. A sudden feeling of being watched, not by people but by destiny itself. A a strange emotional memory resurfacing without warning. Moments where your intuition spoke louder than usual, telling you to pause or to look twice at a situation that once felt harmless. These are not coincidences. These are your spiritual senses awakening to a new chapter that is forming. The energy around you is richer, heavier, more charged, almost like the air before a storm that brings both cleansing and revelation. You are stepping into a moment of cosmic transition. Your energy is expanding, and because of that, anything that cannot rise with you begins to shake. You might even feel a divide between who you once were and who you are becoming. This is the spiritual atmosphere calling you to stand in your truth. For Taurus, growth does not always come through chaos. It often comes through quiet realizations that gather strength inside your soul like the roots of a great oak tree. The universe is preparing you, protecting you, and sharpening your awareness. The energy is not here to intimidate you. It is here to elevate you. But to understand the challenge, we must first understand the trap that is forming. Now, Taurus, let us talk about the heart of the situation. When I speak of a trap, I do not mean a physical snare or a dramatic confrontation. I am talking about something far more subtle and far more personal. A trap, in your spiritual language, is a repeating cycle that appears in disguise. It is a familiar pattern returning to test you, often wrapped in a face or circumstance that you once trusted. This trap can approach quietly, wearing the mask of comfort, nostalgia, or emotional obligation. It is the kind of situation that invites you to step back into an old version of yourself, even when your soul has outgrown that space. The trap might be an individual who re-enters your life with charm that feels warm, but intentions that feel cold. It might be a situation at work that appears harmless, but slowly pulls you into old frustrations. It might even be a moment of self-doubt disguised as logic. Whatever form it takes, the purpose is the same. It is a karmic echo designed to test your boundaries, your intuition, and your growth. Taurus, your heart is generous. Your loyalty is strong. Your patience is often mistaken for permission by those who do not understand your worth. That is why this trap has been forming. Not because you are weak, but because you are evolving. And every time you rise, an old pattern tries to pull you back. This trap is not here to defeat you. It is here to reveal your power. You are being given a chance to respond in a new way, to break the cycle, to stand in a higher vibration that your past self could not reach. And when you rise above this pattern, something extraordinary takes place. You do not simply avoid the trap, you transform the entire direction of your journey. That is the true nature of this challenge. Now, let us speak with complete honesty. Why is this happening to you, Taurus? Why is your energy the one that feels tested, pushed, stretched, and evaluated? The answer is simple, but profound. You are being targeted because your stability is powerful. When Taurus grows, the world around you feels it. Your presence brings grounding where there was chaos. Your loyalty brings healing where there was confusion. Your emotional patience brings peace where there was conflict. Not everyone benefits from your strength, and not every energy around you is comfortable with your growth. There are individuals and situations that rely on your consistency because they cannot create their own. When you begin to change, they feel threatened. When you begin to rise, they fear losing their access to your energy. When your intuition becomes stronger, the illusions around you start to break. And to those who depended on your silence, your awakening becomes their discomfort. This is why the trap exists. It is a reaction to your evolution. You are becoming harder to manipulate, harder to deceive, harder to hold down. Your soul is stepping into a new chapter where your worth is no longer hidden beneath responsibility or patience. Taurus, when the universe sees you rising, it sends tests not to stop you, but to strengthen your path. You are being targeted because your energy is shifting into a higher expression of power. Your presence is becoming clearer. Your intuition is becoming stronger. Your boundaries are becoming solid, and that makes you untouchable to the patterns that used to control you. Stand tall in that truth. You are not the target of misfortune. You are the focal point of transformation. Taurus, let us slow down and truly observe the signs that have been circling you, because you have not imagined them. They are real, they are spiritual, and they are meaningful. When a trap is forming around your energy, the universe will always send early signals. These signs are not designed to frighten you. They exist to awaken your intuition, to sharpen your awareness, and to guide you into clarity. Recently, you may have noticed moments that felt oddly familiar or strangely unsettling, as if something from your past was trying to whisper itself back into your present. You might have felt a sudden tightening in your chest during a conversation, or a moment when someone's words sounded right but their energy felt wrong. You might have caught yourself waking up from dreams that carried symbols of warning, such as people from your past appearing unexpectedly, paths that seemed blocked, or emotional echoes that left you thoughtful long after you opened your eyes. Spiritual signs often manifest through the subtle layers of your everyday life. For example, you may feel emotionally drained after interacting with certain individuals, even if the conversation appeared normal on the surface. You might find yourself second-guessing someone's motives, or replaying small moments that left you with a strange sense of uneasiness. You might also feel like you are being watched, not in a physical sense, but as if something is observing your reactions or waiting for you to make a familiar mistake. These sensations are not coincidences. They are messages from your intuition and your spiritual guides. They are confirmations that something around you does not align with the authentic direction your soul is moving toward. Another sign is the sudden return of old memories or emotional patterns that you thought you had already healed. This happens because the trap is often connected to unresolved energy that your spirit is ready to confront. When these memories show up, it is not to pull you backward, but to remind you of what you have already overcome. The universe is asking you to take a closer look, to acknowledge what once held you, and to recognize that you are no longer the same person. Every sign is a reminder that you have grown stronger, more aware, more intuitive, and more spiritually awake. And when the signs grow louder, it means the trap is close to revealing itself. Now let us dive into something crucial, Taurus. In order to defeat the trap, you must understand your own shadow, not as a punishment, but as a source of power. Every sign carries a light and a shadow, and Taurus is no exception. Your light is extraordinary. You are patient, stable, loyal, protective, and deeply rooted in truth. But your shadow emerges when your love becomes attachment, when your loyalty becomes self-sacrifice, and when your desire for peace becomes silence in the face of disrespect. This shadow is not something to fear. It is something to understand, because the trap uses your shadow as a doorway. When you deny your boundaries or give someone the benefit of the doubt even after they have shown you who they are, you unintentionally invite old patterns back into your life. The shadow of Taurus often appears in moments when you choose to stay in familiar situations, even when they drain your energy. This attachment to comfort can blind you to the intentions of others. You might tell yourself that things will get better, or that you should be patient, but deep inside your intuition is whispering that something feels off. Taurus, you have a heart that wants to heal others, often forgetting that your own healing is just as important. You carry emotional strength that many people rely on, sometimes too heavily. This is where the trap tries to take shape. It reaches for the parts of you that are compassionate, loyal, and steady, because those are the parts that once allowed someone to take advantage of your goodness. Your shadow also holds the memory of past cycles you have repeated, especially cycles involving trust, emotional responsibility, and the desire to create stability even in unstable situations. But here is the truth that many forget. The shadow is not an enemy. It is a sacred teacher. Your shadow reveals the exact places where you are meant to rise. When you understand it, no trap can ever take root again. Recognizing your shadow gives you the power to choose differently, to set boundaries without guilt, and to walk away from energies that do not honor your worth. The trap only succeeds when you forget your strength. But the moment you acknowledge your shadow, you become untouchable. Taurus. Now we reach a powerful revelation. The trap has a source. It is not random, it is not accidental, and it is not a simple coincidence. The setup forming around your energy is coming from one of three distinct origins, and understanding which one applies to you will illuminate the entire situation. The first source is the emotional manipulator. This is a person who subtly benefits from your stability, your calmness, and your loyalty. They may present themselves as harmless or even caring, but underneath their charm lies an intention that serves them more than it serves you. This individual may use guilt, affection, or sympathy to draw you in. Their power lies in your empathy, and they know it. The second source is the energetic taker. This is someone who drains your emotional and spiritual energy without ever offering support in return. Their presence leaves you feeling heavy, confused, or unsettled. They may not mean harm intentionally, but harm is created through their lack of awareness. These are the people who reach for you because you feel safe to them. They draw from your strength because they cannot generate their own. But the danger lies in how easily this connection can weaken you, especially when you are entering a period of growth. Their needs begin to overshadow your boundaries, and the trap forms through their dependence on your energy. The third source is the karmic echo. This is not a person but a pattern, a repeating cycle with deep roots in your past experiences or even past lifetimes. It appears in familiar emotional situations that feel strangely recognizable. The karmic echo tries to pull you into a loop that you have worked so hard to escape. It tries to test whether you have learned the lesson or whether you will fall back into an old reaction. Taurus, this is often the most powerful test because it does not arrive through dramatic events. It arrives quietly, through subtle familiarity, pulling at emotions you thought were healed. Whichever source applies to you, one thing is clear. You are not powerless in this situation. The trap is a reflection of your spiritual progress, not your weakness. The universe is not testing you to punish you, but to reveal the level of strength you have reached. You are being positioned to rise beyond old patterns, old connections, and old energies that no longer fit the person you have become. Understanding the source of the setup is the first major step in breaking its influence forever. Taurus, let us take this moment and turn inward, not with fear but with sacred intention. You have been carrying so much energy, absorbing so many emotions, and sensing the subtle vibrations around you. Now your spirit is ready for protection. I want you to imagine yourself sitting in a quiet space, either in the real world or in the landscape of your mind. Feel the stillness, feel the calm. This ritual is not complicated. It is ancient, intuitive, and shaped by your connection to the earth. Close your eyes if you want, or simply soften your focus. Now imagine a circle of radiant light forming around you. The light is warm, golden, and steady, almost like the glow of the sun during the earliest part of dawn. This is your spiritual shield, created from the strength of your own energy. It is not borrowed from anyone, it is yours. This circle of light begins to rise from the ground beneath you, lifting gently like a mist, becoming brighter as it surrounds your body. Feel how it wraps around your shoulders, your chest, your arms, your legs. It forms a complete sphere of protection around your presence. In this circle, nothing false can enter. Nothing manipulative can reach you. Nothing confusing can cloud your vision. As the light expands, it grows stronger. Your spirit begins to feel lighter. Your mind begins to feel clearer. Your heart begins to feel safer. Now, with a slow breath, say to yourself quietly in your mind or aloud if you feel called to do so, I reclaim my energy. I see what is hidden. I rise above the deception. Allow these words to move through your body, like truth returning to its rightful place. Feel the ground beneath you once more. The earth supports you. The universe protects you. Your intuition guides you. This ritual is more than visualization. It is a declaration of spiritual sovereignty. Every time you place yourself inside this circle of light, the trap loses its power. Every time you breathe into your own strength, illusions dissolve. Every time you declare your awareness, you step into a level of consciousness that cannot be manipulated. Taurus, let this become your practice whenever you feel the air shift around you. Your spirit knows how to rise, and this ritual simply reminds your soul of the strength it already carries. Now, Taurus, let us speak about the sky itself, because you are not imagining the changes you have been feeling. The cosmic influences around you have been intense, layered, and deeply transformative. You are currently under the influence of movements that touch every part of your spiritual journey. One major force is the unpredictable energy of Uranus, which has been shaking the foundations of your old identity. When Uranus moves through Taurus, it disrupts comfort, routine, and anything that feels too familiar. This planetary shift urges you to grow, even when you resist it. It pushes you to break old habits, release old relationships, and step into a version of yourself that is freer, wiser, and more authentic. At the same time, the cycles of Venus, your ruling planet, are bringing emotional lessons to the surface. Venus governs your heart, your relationships, your values, and your sense of worth. When Venus moves through phases that challenge you, you begin to see the truth of your connections with clearer eyes. You may notice who supports your growth and who only benefits from your silence. You may become aware of where your energy is nurtured and where it is taken for granted. These emotional revelations are not meant to hurt you, but to elevate your understanding of your own worth. There are also earth element squares and lunar influences that are exposing hidden motives, old emotional wounds, and unresolved attachments. This combination creates a spiritual climate that requires discernment. You may feel moments of emotional heaviness, followed by bursts of clarity. You may feel sudden urges to detach from certain people or environments. You may find yourself questioning things you once accepted without hesitation. These are all signs that your intuition is increasing in strength. The astrology around you is not a warning of doom. It is a powerful confirmation that you are stepping into a higher vibration. Each planetary movement is guiding you inward, asking you to trust yourself more than ever before. Taurus, you have reached a point in this journey where clarity becomes your greatest weapon. Outsmarting the trap does not require aggression or confrontation. It requires awareness, wisdom, and unwavering trust in your intuition. The first step is simple but powerful. Trust the discomfort you feel. When something inside of you tightens or becomes uneasy, that is your inner compass pointing toward truth. Your intuition has never been meant to scare you. It has always been meant to guide you. When a situation feels off, it usually is. Honor that feeling. The second step is to stop explaining yourself to those who do not listen with respect. Your energy is too valuable to waste on long conversations with individuals who have already made up their minds or whose intentions are misaligned with yours. You do not need to prove your worth or justify your boundaries. Your silence can reveal truths that words never could. Walk with confidence, even when you choose not to answer. Your energy speaks louder than any explanation. The third step is to keep your future plans private. When you share too much with the wrong person, you give them access to your path. You give them a chance to influence your decisions. You give them insight into your vulnerabilities. Protect your dreams the way you protect your heart. Let your actions reveal what your words do not need to explain. Privacy is not secrecy. It is spiritual protection. When your energy moves quietly, the trap has nothing to grab onto. The fourth step is to observe actions rather than promises. Promises are easy. Consistency is rare. Watch how people move. Watch how they treat you when you are silent. Watch how they respond when you set a boundary. Watch what they do when they think you are not paying attention. Patterns always reveal the truth. The final step is to walk away early. Do not wait for proof. Do not wait for wounds. Do not wait for regret. If something feels wrong, trust it. If someone feels unpredictable, distance yourself. If a pattern looks familiar, break it before it forms. Walking away is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate expression of strength. You are choosing your peace over someone else's chaos. Taurus, let us step into the heart of the transformation that is unfolding within you. What you are experiencing is not a setback, not a punishment, and not a sign of weakness. It is a spiritual initiation. You are entering a moment where the universe is sculpting your spirit with greater precision. Every challenge surrounding you is part of a greater awakening. You are becoming what some call the earthbound phoenix, a being who rises not through destruction but through clarity, truth, and inner restoration. Unlike the mythical phoenix that burns to return, your rebirth happens through the realization of your own worth, the strengthening of your boundaries, and the undeniable awakening of your intuition. You do not fall apart to begin again. You expand. You may not realize this yet, Taurus, but the very energies that once held you down are now the foundations you are rising from. Moments where you were overlooked are becoming the reasons you refuse to settle. Times when your loyalty was taken for granted are transforming into lessons that guide your decisions. Experiences that once hurt you are becoming reminders of what you will never allow again. The higher lesson in this chapter is simple but profound. The universe is asking you to choose yourself without hesitation. It is asking you to recognize your worth without seeking validation. It is asking you to rise into a version of yourself that no trap can hold and no illusion can deceive. You are stepping into a spiritual phase where your confidence becomes intuitive, your decisions become guided, and your energy becomes selective. This is the moment where you learn that peace is not something you find in others. Peace is something you create from within. Your transformation is not loud. It is steady, grounded, and sacred. You are learning that your power lies in awareness, that your strength lies in truth, and that your destiny is shaped not by what you avoid, but by what you embrace. As you rise into this earthbound phoenix, you leave behind the patterns that once repeated themselves. You leave behind the people who once drained you. You leave behind the doubts that once stood between you and your purpose. This is your elevation, Taurus. This is your next chapter. Taurus, allow yourself a moment to imagine something beautiful. Imagine that a future version of you is standing just a few steps ahead on your path. This version of you is stronger, wiser, more peaceful, and more aligned than you can possibly imagine right now. This future self is not a stranger. It is you, but free from the weight you are carrying today. It is you, but released from the influence of the trap attempting to pull you downward. It is you, but living in the clarity you are slowly stepping into. Now, imagine that this future version of yourself reaches back toward you, offering a message meant only for your heart. The message is gentle yet powerful. It says, "You made it through because you learned to trust yourself." It continues, "You stopped shrinking for those who could not rise with you." It adds, "You discovered that your intuition was never wrong." This future self wants you to know that everything you are experiencing right now is shaping you into the person you were always meant to become. There is no mistake here. There is no wrong turn. There is only growth, awakening, and the quiet empowerment of your soul. This future version of you looks at your present self with pride because you are standing in a moment that requires courage, awareness, and a willingness to evolve. Your future self wants to remind you that you will not stay in this season of uncertainty forever. You are moving toward a timeline where the people around you honor your worth, where your intuition guides every decision, and where your energy is protected by the strength of your boundaries. The challenges you face today are the very experiences that sharpen your spiritual vision. The confusion you feel now will turn into understanding. The heaviness you carry will become strength. The fear you once had will transform into faith. Taurus, your future self is waiting for you with open arms, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to the life you truly deserve. Walk forward with the certainty that your energy is protected, your intuition is sharpening, and your future is aligning with the highest version of your soul. The light ahead is not an illusion. It is your birthright, and as you step into it, you become the Taurus that the universe has been preparing all along. A Taurus who sees clearly, a Taurus who chooses wisely, a Taurus who rises effortlessly, a Taurus who cannot be touched by deception, a Taurus who transforms the world not through force but through presence. If this message spoke to your spirit, allow yourself to continue your journey of awakening. There is much more waiting for you, much more to understand, much more to uncover. You are invited to explore the next chapter of your growth by watching the other videos on this channel. Your transformation has only just begun.